I'm Brian Remington, Chief Architect for Alfresco's digital business platform. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to explain why Alfresco is the perfect platform to take advantage of the growing array of AI services, both today and into the future. If you work in IT, then the subjects of artificial intelligence and machine learning seem to crop up almost daily at the moment. At Alfresco, we have always focused on intelligently enriching the content and optimizing the business processes that are managed by our platform. And AI services are being used by our customers to do that today. If you've watched the other videos in this series, you'll know that open integration and extension are core to the Alfresco platform, and this makes it easy for you to integrate the platform with AI services such as natural language processing, sentiment analysis, and image recognition. There are two parts to this. There's the enrichment of content, and then acting on the AI-based information. On the whiteboard here, I've drawn a few capabilities of our platform that enable you to interact with AI services. The Alfresco platform exposes a number of different hooks that allow you to extend the capabilities of the platform. For example, folder rules are easy to configure, and they allow you to extend the capabilities of the platform in response to things that take place in the repository. So for example, if an image is uploaded into a folder, then you could kick off a metadata extraction process. The metadata extraction framework has been in the product for many years, and it allows you to extract information out of the content and store it in the repository alongside that content. So if you wanted to use AWS recognition, then it would be easy to write a metadata extractor that would take an image out of the repository, send it to AWS recognition, and then take the metadata that it gives you back, such as emotion, age range, and gender, and store that information with the image in the repository. If you happen to have deployed the platform in AWS, and therefore you're using our S3 connector to store the content in S3, then there's no need to send the image anywhere. AWS recognition can look at the image in the content store and extract the metadata directly from it. It's also possible to use natural language processing to auto-summarize and auto-classify documents. And when you couple that with our search and discovery capabilities, that enables you to easily cross-reference documents and mine for new information from those documents. That describes a few of the different ways you can enrich your content with AI-based services. We have other hooks as well that I'm not going to talk about so much, such as behaviors and actions that also enable you to extend the capabilities of the platform. But that's just the first step. Once you've enriched the content, what can you then do with it? So the Alfresco platform allows you then to act on that new information. Alfresco Content Services is built around a secure and scalable repository. And metadata that's taken from either built-in capabilities or AI services outside of the repository are stored and indexed inside the repository so that you can later on find it really easily. I've already mentioned folder rules as a capability that we have that enables you to enrich content. However, you can also use their if this then that type of behavior to then act on the metadata that you've obtained from the AI service. So for example, using the example of the AWS recognition, you could take the metadata and sort images in the repository into different folders depending on whether the people in the image are happy or unhappy. So you have two different folders, happy people, unhappy people, and use folder rules to actually sort those images. Talking of moving images around into different folders, we also have a smart folders capability. What these enable you to do is create dynamic views into the repository. Using the Alfresco query language, you can configure it to say, this folder is a search that shows you all the images in the repository that have happy people in them. And then this is a smart folder that shows you all the images in the repository, wherever they might be in the repository, that have unhappy people in them. So using smart folders, you don't have to move the images into different folders. It gives you that dynamic view, and then you can browse through those dynamic smart folders as you would any other folder, but it's just showing you different content in different ways. Our search capabilities are particularly strong, and smart folders is one way that you can make use of them. However, we've also got search filters. Now, search filters is a way of drilling down into search results. So you can start with a search, for example, just show me all the images that are in the repository. And then based on the results that you get back, start drilling down into those results. So of these images, show me the ones that have male people in them. And then refine it further and say, now only show me those that have got people in with the age range 40 to 55, for example. And then now only show me those people in that set that are happy. Now, this is an extensible capability. So if we don't provide you with the filters that you want, then you can extend it and add your own filters in there. Now, of course, what I've described there is how you can use the capabilities of our content services to act on information that you might have obtained from an AI service. However, the Alfresco platform also has very strong process services. Our process modeling tools conform to the BPMN open standard, and using them, it's easy to model your business processes in the platform. As part of this, you can create decision tables using the DMN standard. And you can use decision tables to route your processes more effectively. So you could take tasks and route them to the most appropriate person, or you could take entirely different paths through your process depending on the metadata that's being used by the process at that point in time. You can think of process services a bit like the glue that connects the metadata that you obtain from AI services or any other external service into your business context. To illustrate this, we recently created a demonstration that showed how you could use customer feedback and that was fed through Amazon Alexa that kicked off a process that first of all did speech-to-text processing, then carried out sentiment analysis on that text, and then depending on whether those systems determined that the customer was happy or unhappy, routed the unhappy feedback to a customer service manager that they could then use and take appropriate action, so call the customer, for example. This particular example used external services, so sentiment analysis with an AI-based service and natural language processing, the speech-to-text. Also used categorization of content that I talked about earlier on, and then glued it all together using a process to deliver real value to the business. I hope that's given you a good insight into why Alfresco's platform and AI-based services are such a great match. Our open and modular architecture can be deployed on-premise and also is optimized for private cloud deployment. Our platform is highly extensible, and that means that you can take advantage of AI-based services today, as well as taking advantage of new services as they become available. You don't have to wait for Alfresco to deliver them for you. There are other videos in this series that go into more detail about some of the things that I've talked about, as well as how you can use our application development framework to build business applications that are content and process oriented. Take a look at those other videos to find out how Alfresco's platform can provide benefit to your business.